Hello there and welcome back to another Bad North video where we are going to rank the traits that your commanders can get in Bad North. So as you see, I've created this little trait list with all the different flags. These all mean something different. And what traits are, if you don't know, your commander may or may not have one of these. They can be without a trait, but if they have a trait, these things make them a little bit better. They give them little benefits. And I'll explain what each one does as we go along, and I'm going to put them in the tier list where I think they should go. So starting off with, we've got the collector. Now, if your character has a collector trait, what it means is they receive a 50% discount on all item upgrades. So if you've got the Warhammer, for example, you can upgrade it for half price. And that can be really strong. I think the best thing with the collector is to give it to the guy with the Philosopher's Stone. And actually, it's the only time when the Philosopher's Stone becomes really good. Because if you have a guy with the Philosopher's Stone and you get the 50% upgrade, then you can get loads of money and you can fully upgrade them. Where do I think it is on the trait list, though? I think it's... The thing is, it doesn't make your soldier stronger, it just helps you in the game, and I think for that reason I'd put it in a B tier. I don't think it's an A, because that commander becomes kind of weaker. It helps you in the early game to get better, but it doesn't make that commander any stronger, and it limits a kind of some of these other traits make you actually stronger at fighting. So I'm going to put it in B for now. Now the second one, this is really good. This is energetic, and what this means is that it reduces the cooldown on all abilities by 33%. And straight away, I think I might put it in S tier. I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I might change my mind, but I think I'm putting it in S tier. And the reason for it is this. If you put this with the Warhammer, you get to use the Warhammer sort of like every 2 landings that the enemies get. So it makes you be able to use your abilities much more often. And something like the Warhammer, you can use as many times as possible. So if you use the Warhammer with energetic, that character becomes amazing. But like any of the abilities, just being able to use your abilities quicker just is really fantastic. And that's why I put it up in S tier. I think it would work in any character. It's a great trait to get if you can get it. If you didn't know, you can unlock all these traits as starting traits, by the way. So even if you haven't got them at the start of the game, you can actually unlock them as you play the game. Right, the next one, and let me just check my notes. Yeah, this is Fearless. The thing is about Fearless is it's like the worst. It definitely goes straight away into D. It's like the worst thing. Quite a few people say to me, I want you to do a playthrough with Fearless. And I just think, why? Because it's pointless to me. Because what it means is that you can never flee the battlefield with that commander. He never runs away, which is not a buff, it's actually a negative. But the other thing is that I never run away anyway. I've never actually fought a Bad North campaign when I've run away. I either lose the campaign where everyone dies, or I stay and fight. And so this trait is kind of pointless to me. I don't use it. Let me know if you find this, maybe you do flee islands, so maybe you find Fearless something that's an interesting thing, but I just find it pointless. I don't really see why it's in the game. But let me know what you think. Right, next one is Fleet of Foot. Now, Fleet of Foot, a lot of you love. You've said it in the comments, you're like, Fleet of Foot is really good. I'm going to drop it in C. I really don't care for it. I can already see the hate here, but I really don't care for it, and this is the reason. I think you should always be able to hold off a wave with 2 characters. And I hear what some of you say, like the ability to move fast from one side of the island to the other. Say you get an infantry with Fleet of Foot, they can move really fast across the islands, and they can fight in 2 places at once. Okay, I get that, but realistically it doesn't make you much stronger, and I think really you're just not playing the game very well if you need that speed. You don't need that speed. You shouldn't need that speed to move around. You should be placing your troops in the right place at the right time. So I'm only putting it in C. I understand if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. It's okay. You might see that a bit heretical, but there we go. Right, the next one here is heavy load. Now, I'll be clear with this. I have never had a character with heavy load, and I kind of wish I did, because what it does is it means you get 1 extra item use per island. So that means if you've got the bomb, if you've got the mines, or if you've got the warhorn, you get an extra use of something. And I think straight away I'm going to put this in A. I think it's a really good trait. So the maximum bombs you can get in the game in a character is 2 bombs. Bombs are really powerful, but getting 3 bombs, that means you can use them all the time. Again, mines, you can get 4 mines. With this, you can get 5 mines. That extra one is really powerful. And even with the warhorn, just getting that extra use of the warhorn, that could really stack up over the campaign. So again, I haven't got much of an experience with this, so I don't know. Maybe that's overkill. Maybe you don't need 3 bombs. Maybe you don't need an extra mine. Maybe 4 mines is as good as 5. I don't know. But I just think that this would be a really good trait to have. Maybe not S tier, just for that reason, because maybe it's just overkill. But very good trait to have. Right, heavy weapons. One of my favourite traits in the game, and I'm dropping it straight into S tier. Now, heavy weapons, if you don't know what it does, it means that your basic attacks deal increased knockback and stun effects. And what you want to do with this is you want to drop it on an archer. Because what it means is that your archers can knock the enemies off their boats. Particularly, even if they've got shields and you've got archers, you can actually knock them into the water much more easily with this. So it's a fantastic trait to get. Then again, if you were using pikes, this is also a good trait. You knock back the enemy more. You stun them. Even if you put that on infantry, that ability to stun enemies and to knock them back is really powerful. It means that even an infantry guy probably stands quite a good chance of knocking a brute back into the water and knocking them out. So it just really buffs any troop you have this with. It's a really good trait. I recommend getting it. Yeah. Now the next one is Iron Skin. I love Iron Skin, and I don't know whether to put it in A or S, because I'm really tempted by S again, but I think I might put it in A. What it does is it reduces the amount of damage you take. Oh, I'm so tempted. I might even... No, I'm going to put it in A for now. Yeah, it reduces the amount of damage you take. So if you've got infantry with this, it's just fantastic. They're just so survivable. They can go fight, and you're like, and you check them and you think they must have died. They've been in such a big amount of fighting, and you're like, oh, only 1 or 2 of them have died. And so the thing is in Bad North is if you've got a kind of a half strength unit, that's much worse. I mean, it sounds obvious. It's much worse than a full strength unit. If half of your men are dead in that unit, you do so much less damage. You are so much less effective. You are in such a dangerous place. And basically, you need to replenish. You don't really want to stay in the fight with a half-strong unit. Whereas Iron Skin enables you to stay in the fight for longer. I'm going to put it as an A. The reason maybe I'm not going to put it in an S is because as pikemen and archers can't really use this that well. It's definitely for the infantry. I don't know. Maybe I'll move it. I'll come back to that. I am very tempted. I kind of want to put it here in between, but I'm putting it in A. Right now, Mountain. Mountain is quite a fun trait to use. What it means is that you get your commander, they become like a brute. They're really good, or at least at level 3 they become a brute. So your commander's a giant, and once you upgrade that unit to level 3, the commander actually becomes really good at fighting. How useful is this though? Not very useful. I put him in C. It's borderline D, but not quite. It's not quite fearless. The commander is quite fun to use. You can see the commander going around and smashing stuff. The commander can even sort of fight brutes on his own or her own, but not that useful. There's not that many scenarios where I used this on a campaign not long ago, and there wasn't that many scenarios where I actually got to use this trait. You kind of have to be in a tough spot, and then even then, yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. Right, next one is Popular. And what Popular does is it increases the maximum unit size by 1. Sounds great. Again, this is not something that I've ever have had on one of my campaigns, and I'm in between B and C, and I think again I'm going to put it in C. But I think C. The reason I'm putting it there is because one extra character I don't think really makes that much difference, in all honesty. Like either you do really well with everyone, or if you've got one more character, you don't do that much better. So either you do badly or well in this game. Either you play well or you play badly. And I feel like this doesn't help an awful lot. Maybe on an archer you get an extra arrow, more likely to hit. Okay, but not great. I'm underwhelmed by this. Let me know in the comments if you are more whelmed by this, but I am underwhelmed. It doesn't impress me an awful lot. Next one, rousing speeches. And again, this is one of those ones where straight away I'm going up near the top. I love this ability. Rousing speeches means you can replenish much quicker. So I think it's 33% quicker that you replenish in a house. If you go into a house and you replenish, this character comes out much more quickly. Put that on an infantry. When you take damage, you can replenish in between waves much more quickly. It's a really good ability. Again, it's good on archers. Oh, I'm tempted to put this up here, you know. I just love this ability. This is such a good ability. It really is. The only reason I might not put it there is it doesn't do damage. And so it means that you keep your soldiers in the game, but it doesn't actually hurt the enemies anymore. So maybe it just sticks A. Again, might revisit it. Right, next one, sharp weapons. Now, sharp weapons means that your basic attacks still increase damage, which sounds amazing, but you also have reduced knockback and reduced stun effects. That means some of you will be saying, look, this is rubbish. This isn't good, because what it means is you can't stun enemies and you can't knock them back, so you are much weaker. I'm going to put it in B. And this is the reason why. This can be a really good ability if you want to create a unit for a specific thing. So if you give an archer this ability, yes, they'll be bad at knocking enemies off boats, but they will be able to kill brutes. So it's got a negative effect and a positive effect. Their arrows will cause lots of damage, but they will not knock back. So again, with pikes, the knockback ability on pikes is really important. So you would say, well, never put that on pikes, but that's not always true. If you have like 2 pikemen and you have one with the sharp weapons ability, that means your pikes do extra damage. That is good, but it just means they don't knock back. So you have to really rethink how you use that unit if you use this. And so that's why I'm putting it in B. It can be good, it can be bad. You need to be very specific about how you use this and who you give it to. Even infantry, I think infantry is probably the best way to use this trait, but again, you need to use them very specifically for a very specific reason. Right, next one, Skillful, which means you receive a 50% discount on all skill upgrades. So that means if you've got the plunge attack or the volley, this is half price to upgrade it. Again, B, I think it goes along with Collector. Really useful skill. It is good. It doesn't make you overpowered, it doesn't make you that much stronger, but it helps you, particularly if you get this early game, it saves you coins, and saving you coins can't be underestimated in this game. Really helps. So early game, Skillful, Collector, very good abilities. If you get these late game, they're going down to more C's and D's, not so useful. But early game, very useful. Right, last one is Sure-Footed. Now, Sure-Footed means that it grants significant resistance to knockback, stun and launch effects. So this means that you can put your pikes, for example, right on the spot where a boat will land and they will not be knocked over. It means that if you've got infantry with Sure-Footed, then brute archers can't knock them back. It means that they're very powerful. And again, I'm sure some of you would put this S. I think I'm going to put it in A tier. I think it's good. I think I haven't even maybe used it to the best of my abilities. It's a very good ability. I really recommend it. it doesn't make you better at killing. And as you see, the things I put at the top here are things that I think help you kill more. Energetic definitely lets you kill more. Heavy weapons lets you kill more. These things are kind of like stop you dying. So they're very powerful in that sense. I mean, I'm going to do this. I do like Iron Skin. I think that is very powerful. But Sure-Footed, I don't know. I kind of, early on in the game, it's really powerful. It feels like it gets less and less powerful later in the game. So let me know what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, guys, what you think, if you agree or disagree with me on this. I'm sure plenty of you will disagree about certain places that I've put things here. And that's fine. We can have different opinions. You might be wrong, but it's okay. But there we go. That's my tier list. That's what I'm going with. I think I'm going to stick with that. I think, and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. It helps us out. If you're not subscribed, it'd be great if you subscribed. But I'll see you soon because I've got another Bad North series lined up. So hopefully you'll be with us for that, and I'll speak to you next time.